Okay. Alright. Hi, I'm Amanda. I'm going to show you how to make a pocket diaper. In this video, I'm going to show you how to trace and cut it all out. Before you start tracing, you need to make sure you know where the stretch is. In this PUL, the stretch is along this edge in comparison to the other one because it gives more. Once you determine the stretch, make sure you lay the fabric out flat on the table. And don't put any drinks near it because you can spill all over it. Put your diaper pattern on the fabric, about 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. 1/2 inch for beginners and no less than 1/4 inch for experienced sewers. Make sure you put the width of the pattern along with the stretch here. Once you have your pattern on there, make sure you can secure it with something. I like to put weights on it, 1 or 2, just to make sure it doesn't move. And then some people, you can pin it or tape it, whatever works for you. Just make sure it does not move. When you start tracing it, make sure that you have enough supplies. When you start tracing it, you need to figure out how you want to trace it. Some people like markers. It is very quick, but it doesn't last for very long. Some people like pencils. It takes forever to draw it on there, and you have to press really hard. You have to make sure you have a very hard surface, but they do last for a long time. My preferred method is with chalk. I have a chalk wheel that just goes around. It's very easy, very fast. It does wipe away, so you have to be careful about moving your fabric too much. The old school way is using a tracing wheel and Ritz paper. It takes forever, but it does stay for quite a while. All right, start tracing. That's the next step, to trace this out. All right, next, just start tracing it. I'm gonna use my chalk wheel. So it's pretty simple. Just start going. And it's pretty self-explanatory. Trace the outline. Make sure it doesn't move like a bitch. Again, if you are a beginner, make sure you have about 1/2 inch between the pattern and the edge of the fabric, so that you have plenty of seam allowance in case you screw up. And then with the snaps, make sure you see those really well. They stick together. These don't have to really be perfect. Roundabouts, okay? And make sure that you mark where these stars are on your pattern. Most patterns will have stars if you download it from Google or Babyville or whatever. I don't suggest Babyville. Mark your elastic. tabs. It's going to be helpful later. Similar to cup pattern, and there it is. All right, next step is going to be cutting it out. Again, if you're a beginner, cut about 1/2 inch of a seam allowance, so in case you screw up, you can fix your mistakes. And when you're cutting it out, the pocket is going to be up here. And I'm going to cut this slit right here so that I can make a casing for the elastic. I use just Fiskars scissors, fabric scissors. These are for dressmakers. They're incredibly cheap. I use the cheapest ones I can find for fabric. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can be zigzaggy, because nobody's gonna fucking see it, so nobody's gonna see it. So it doesn't matter how you cut it out. And make sure you save all of your scraps. You're gonna use them later for the snaps. Cut this up here and there for the elastic. Nobody said sewing wasn't time consuming. We haven't even got to the sewing. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And there you go. Remember, save your scraps. They're going to be important later. Save these. All of this. Alright. Now you're going to do the same with your wicking fabric, the liner that's going to go on the inside. This is a suede cloth. You can get Athletics wicking fabric. That also works. Babyville has a good wicking fabric for that. Then you can also get micro fleece. That's really comfy, especially for winter. It keeps them warm. Keeps your bum nice and warm. Again, there's a stretch to every fabric. This is another two-way stretch. The stretch is along this edge and in comparison to, oh, it's this edge. That edge in comparison to this edge. Make sure you know where that stretch is going, and it's the same stretch as your PUL fabric. Here's the whole spiel. If you like, subscribe, keep learning stuff. We'll go from cloth diapers to baking. If you have any questions, leave comments, leave something below. In the description I have links to my Facebook and to my Etsy. If you don't like making cloth diapers, I sell them. If you have any questions about cloth diapering or the materials that I use, just hit me a comment on Facebook. I have lots of useful stuff on there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Just somebody with pink hair and big boobs.